Technics have just come out with their most affordable turntable, the SL-40CBT, which they lended to me for this review. Now the retail price is 1,299 Aussie dollars. I've already seen them on sale for close to 1,000. So I'll be comparing it today to my Audio-Technica LP60X, which you can get for roughly 200 bucks on sale. And 200 Australian dollars is as cheap as you want to go if you are thinking about buying your first turntable. I got one of those real cheap, like $100 ones, and it was just a terrible experience. Learn from my mistakes. Now the SL-40 is targeted at those that are starting out on their vinyl journey, but want a more premium feel. And that's exactly what you get. Now, I am just getting started on my own vinyl journey, so I'm a bit of a noob. This won't be the most technical review, but I've definitely caught the vinyl itch and built up a bit of a collection over the last roughly 2 years. It's a seriously fun side hobby if you're thinking of getting into it. But let's get into the main differences of both turntables. So starting with the build, the SL-40 is built from MDF, which is like wood and wax combined. So it has a smooth, almost matte finish, and you get 3 color options to choose from. It has a nice, sleek, minimal look and should fit well into any space. It does feel very premium and has some decent weight to it as well, especially when compared to the LP60. That turntable looks and feels like a toy compared. So the SL-40 is much larger, but it's still quite sleek for turntable standards and fits pretty well into my small cabinet nicely. And it's going to work well on most surfaces with vibration resistant feet. You can also adjust the height of each foot if the turntable is on an uneven surface. The SL-60 just has plastic feet, which you can't adjust. It also uses a cordless direct drive motor, which you're only really going to see on premium turntables. This will give you stable and accurate rotation. The LP60 uses a belt drive motor, which is great sound-wise, but the belt can stretch and degrade over time, needing to be replaced every 1 to 5 years. Now the platter on the SL-40 is aluminium, which mounts with a magnet. The LP60 has a similar setup. And both also have 2 speed options, 33 and 45 RPM. The SL-40 separates itself though with the S-shaped aluminium tone arm. This gives you very precise vinyl groove tracking and just looks a lot nicer compared to the LP60 tone arm. The main difference though is that the SL-40 tone arm is completely manual with its operation and setup. The LP60 is fully automatic, you just need to press play and you're good to go. On the SL-40, you have to balance the tone arm with the balance weight combined with the anti-skate control to get the correct stylus pressure and tracking. That may sound a bit confusing. It was to me at first. I'm terrible at reading instructions, but Technics has an easy to follow video tutorial online. So each time you play a record, you need to manually use a Q lever to lower and raise the stylus and also lock it away, which may seem like extra work, and well, it is, but this is vinyl. You're not listening for convenience. You're using vinyl for intentional listening, and I think this extra work kind of adds to that experience. That's the fun side, at least to me, for vinyl. It's the setup process, grabbing the vinyl out, looking at the artwork, setting up the artwork, reading the lyrics or whatever booklets they include in the vinyl as well. You're not getting superior sound quality, it's the experience. So having to adjust the tone arm manually just adds to that intentionality. The SL-40 also comes pre-fitted with the Audio-Technica AT-VM95C stylus. This is advertised to give you clear and precise sound reproduction. The turntable also has a built-in phono preamp, which just makes it easier to plug the turntable straight into a set of speakers without having to use an external amplifier. So you can use the line out connection for that, or phono out if you're using an external amp. You also have a phono earth connection, which can help reduce signal noise and improve sound quality. The LP60 has a similar setup when it comes to connectivity, but with a more minimal single analog output, and there's no phono earth. Now when it comes to connectivity, the SL-40CBT model I have here has Bluetooth 5.4, which uses SBC and aptX adaptive for their codecs. The SL-60 model I have here doesn't have Bluetooth. You need to spend roughly another 80 bucks to get the version with Bluetooth though. And the Bluetooth setup is really simple. You just turn on your speaker or earbuds or headphone or whatever into pairing mode at the same time as a turntable, and it will automatically connect. I set this up with my JBL PartyBox 310 Bluetooth speaker, and the sound quality was actually pretty impressive considering it's only using SBC. I thought the turntable would have had a high-res codec option like aptX adaptive high-res or lossless, but for most people, SBC or aptX adaptive is going to be fine. But if you're using a turntable, come on, you might as well plug in. So that's what I've done here. I just got a really long auxiliary cable connected to the speaker, ran it up the wall, and it works completely fine. I don't really have much room for a proper bookshelf speaker setup, but the JBL PartyBox 310 is actually a very decent sounding Bluetooth speaker. But now onto the actual sound quality of the SL-40. Does it sound better than the $200 turntable? Honestly, I can't say for sure because I normally review earbuds and headphones on this channel and Bluetooth speakers. It's super easy to go back and forth and compare. Where with the turntables, like I gotta unplug it and plug another thing in, and like I just don't have the gear to compare it back to back. I think the SL-40 did produce slightly richer vocals, slightly better separation of instruments. My go-to record test song is Blood Moon by Rye-X, and I may have noticed better vocal clarity when listening on the SL-40, but this is just going off memory of like setting up the SL-40, listening for a couple of hours, then I went back to the cheaper turntable, listened for a little bit. So I think it sounds better, but it's hard to say for sure. Even if you do get slightly better sound quality compared to the cheaper turntable, I don't think that's the main reason you should get the SL-40. The benefits come with its sleek design, high quality build, and that direct drive motor can last a lifetime. The aluminium tonearm just feels so much nicer to manually set up every time you play a record as well. And all the parts just feel like they're built to last, where on the LP60, I wouldn't really say so. And the main thing I noticed in my short time with the turntable is that I was more motivated to chuck on records just with the, I don't know, there was a look of the turntable. Maybe it was just because I only had it for a short period of time. Maybe it was the manual setup, where a lot of the time with the cheaper turntable, I kind of just leave it there and only use it very rarely. So it's another thing to consider. Not to talk that far down on the LP60, I think that is still a great value turntable. If you just want to get into the hobby, start playing records, you get pretty decent sound quality, and you may prefer the automatic setup without having to set up the cue and spend extra time doing that. But if you want to start your vinyl journey with a bit of a bang and you find that premium finish and that manual setup resonates with you, then you're going to love the SL-40CBT. But now Technics don't just make great turntables, they also make some great true wireless earbuds. So be sure to check out my earbud awards video for 2025, which feature a certain Technics earbud in there. So be sure to check that out. Thanks for tuning in, stay picky, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.